we begin questions. I'm going to ask unanimous consent to place in the record materials on historical fuel and energy prices. Hearing no objection, so ordered. All right. Let's try some questions. Ms. Nguyen, the past administration's mismanagement of the renewable fuel standard, along with the ongoing fuel impacts of the pandemic, have created volatile swings in compliance costs for the renewable fuels program in recent years, making it hard for all stakeholders to plan and invest to meet the program's requirements. It's my understanding that Oregon has not experienced the same volatility in compliance cost with its clean fuels program. My question is this: how have the flexibilities built into Oregon's low carbon fuel standard, along with the additional cost containment and other measures within Oregon's program that differ from the federal program, how they help to mitigate compliance cost spikes? Ms. Nguyen.
Yeah, thank you for that question, Chair Carper. So I think a lot of what is built into the program is the ability for the agency to monitor the costs we do of our neighboring states in comparison to the state of Oregon. We do routinely track the fuel retail and wholesale prices of fuels that are delivered in California, in Washington, and in Idaho. And, you know, for the past years that we've been operating the program in Oregon, we have not seen a significant increase in comparison to those states. And, you know, and those are states that also don't necessarily, in the state of Idaho, don't have any kind of additional fuel standards. We do keep track of those prices, and we are legislatively required to, have cost containment mechanisms in the program to be able to monitor those fuel prices. And so, I mean, I think it's a combination of the monitoring and the cost containment mechanisms that have not caused these large volatilities in the fuel prices in Oregon.
All right, thanks. Just a quick follow-up. It's my understanding that Oregon tracks consumer fuel costs and surrounding state consumer fuel costs as part of its implementation of the low carbon fuel standard. Very briefly, are there surrounding states that do not have a low carbon fuel standard today that have higher fuel costs than Oregon?
Thank you for that question, Chair Carper. So as I previously stated, in the most recent analysis of the data that we've been looking at, it is we do compare our fuel prices, both retail and wholesale, to the states of Washington and California and Idaho. And it is noted that our fuel prices in Oregon have shown that we're lower than even the state of Idaho. And so the state of Idaho does not have any additional fuel regulations. They don't have a low carbon fuel standard in place there. And so we feel confident that the prices of the fuels in Oregon are not being disproportionately impacted by the fact that we do have a low carbon fuel standard.
All right, thanks for that. One question for Ms. Score, if I could, on E15 and advanced biofuels. Ms. Score, recent court decisions prevent the sale of fuels that have blends of ethanol to 15% known as E15 this coming summer unless Congress or the administration takes some further action. At the same time, EPA, over the course of several different administrations, has been slow to approve advanced biofuel applications for new pathways and fuels for the renewable fuel standard. Question is this: in your mind, would the approval of additional advanced biofuel applications and Congress acting to allow E15 to be sold year-round help mitigate some of the volatility in the renewable fuel program costs that we're seeing today?
Thank you, Chairman. It most certainly would. The easiest path to bring down the price of the RIN is to blend more biofuel. It's basic supply and demand. The more biofuels blended, in particular higher blends like E15, the more RINs created, and that's how you bring down the price of the RIN. So not only is that going to will it address the stated costs, but you're also going to be introducing a lower cost fuel into the fuel supply for consumers. And there are also technologies languishing in EPA that I've got producers currently producing cellulosic ethanol. They're not getting credit for it because the application has been sitting around for 5 years. So there's more innovation that we can do to bring low-cost, low-carbon fuels to the table, but we do need some certainty and some predictability, and for the regulations to keep up with the marketplace and the innovation.
All right, I have plenty more questions, but I'm going to yield it at this point to Senator Capito. Thank you for those responses, folks.